Hey guys, for many, many years I looked like that, and I always wanted to achieve some abs, but I was never successful. Well, in this video, I'm going to go over the 3 reasons why I was finally successful at achieving some abs. And at the very end, I'll also share the 2 exercises that I use to make sure my abs are super strong. Let's hop into it. It all started here. While I was sitting on my couch, I was watching the UFC, and I started becoming a really, really big fan of fighting. So I decided I wanted to learn some MMA myself.
You will learn to tackle and grapple.
So I looked in my area for some gyms, and I found a place named Foley's Gym. Here's where I started to learn more about MMA, and Coach Foley was an extremely skilled boxer. So, with boxing being his specialty, his training would focus on boxing the most, and I would train a little MMA every week at his gym, and I enjoyed it a lot. As I became more and more obsessed with boxing, I started to become more and more athletic, and I found something that I enjoyed that was also challenging. And in order to keep pushing myself, I knew I needed something to work towards. And I heard about 8 months away, there would be this boxing night at the gym. So I decided I wanted to have an amateur boxing match. The fear of fighting a 200 plus pound fighter motivated me to lose a good amount of weight. See, they will match you up against someone that weighs the same as you. And so after practicing with heavyweights, I knew I did not want to fight a 200 plus pound fighter for my first amateur boxing match. I quickly realized that I needed to lose a bunch of weight.
Gotta get a juicer, gotta drink juice, lose weight.
In order to lose that weight, I just tracked what I ate and ate less calories than my body's maintenance calories. And if you don't know what your body's maintenance calories are, just find an online maintenance calculator. At this point, I was about halfway to getting abs. I started at about 31% body fat or 215 pounds, and now I was around 191 or 22% body fat. In order to see your abs, typically you have to be at like 20% body fat, but that depends on every individual. Some may not see their abs until 18%, 15%. It really just depends on each individual. I was starting to see mine really well at about 16% body fat. But this brings me to the first reason I believe I was successful. Choose one easy thing, then slowly make it harder and harder. Learning the simple basics of boxing was pretty easy when I first started. And as I strived for better and better technique and pushed myself more and more, it became more and more difficult to improve my skills and cardio, and it was really hard physically. As I approached my boxing match, I kept pushing myself more and more, losing weight, training my cardio, my endurance, my skills, and my technique. Well, I've recently learned that the more you do hard things, the easier it becomes to do the hard things. Here's Andrew Huberman to explain it better.
Doing hard things translates to an ability to do hard things, and probably translates, provided it doesn't kill you, to a longer life.
And you've explained that there's actually a part of your brain that grows.
So there's a brain area that most neuroscientists aren't aware of called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. Okay. Now, this area has subsequently been imaged in people who are successful dieters. It grows larger. In people that fail at a dieting or nutrition program, it gets smaller. People that embrace a new form of exercise, and here's the key point, that they don't want to do, this area gets bigger. People that are just doing things that they enjoy doing does not change in shape or size. Yeah. If you really don't want to do something and you do it, this area gets bigger. And it's got inputs and outputs from all of these different brain areas that make all of this make sense, like the dopamine system, like the learning and memory system, like the areas of the brain that say, no, I'm going to retreat from that. It's aversive. But you push yourself to do something that you don't want to do, this area gets bigger. And the best part is it translates to an ability to do harder things elsewhere. This, to me, I get obviously super excited about because it's nested in human data and animal data, in real world examples of dieting and exercise and aging and longevity and all of that. And it speaks to much of what you've talked about on this podcast for years and years, which is do hard things. It will give you an ability to do other hard things. But if you love doing deadlifts, honestly, even sets to failure on those deadlifts, enjoy them, benefit from them, all the wonderful things that come with doing deadlifts, great. But you should probably also do something that you don't enjoy doing if you have an interest in the kind of benefits that we're talking about.
Well, it completely makes sense that your brain would have to develop an ability to continue to do difficult things, and that ability to not hesitate and push through, the ability to not procrastinate and go forward. And that thing is probably like all things. It's like cardiovascular endurance, muscular endurance. Like you develop an ability to do more of it because of that.
Right.
Because your brain recognizes this is something that we're going to have to deal with. Let's figure out how to respond to this.
So I think anyone can choose some kind of physical activity that they enjoy that starts out easy, then do it a lot and keep making it harder and harder.
So that makes it harder.
And as you do more and more, your brain will get better and better at doing hard things like being consistent. For example, if you choose to start dieting, start with just a small calorie deficit, something like 100 calories less than maintenance, and then eventually get down to 500 calories less than maintenance, or whatever it needs to be to achieve your goals. Or if you like running, push yourself harder and harder to run faster and faster as time goes on, but start easy. Having a realistic date or a goal to work towards helps a lot as well. Too many times in the past, I would go from doing nothing to trying to diet hard and work out hard, only to burn out and give up and gain all the weight back.
Fact.
Baby steps made the difference for me between success and failure. So choose one thing, focus on that, make it easy, and then make it harder and harder as time goes on. My amateur boxing match was honestly the craziest thing I've ever done. It was more thrilling than skydiving. I mean, just think about the fact of being in a small square with somebody else that is trying to hurt you as much as possible and knock you out.
He's gonna get his conjoinings knocked down.
So here are a few of my favorite moments from that night. If you're interested in watching my full amateur boxing match, the video link is in the description below. After that intense focus towards preparing for my boxing match for so long, I felt empty afterwards. I felt goalless, sad. I wanted some new goals to continue improving my health. So I talked with my family and I asked if they wanted to participate in some healthy competitions. We made many mini competitions, such as most steps walked, most body fat percentage lost, most pull-ups, etc. And anyone could participate in any of the competitions. It was $5 to enter the competition, and the winner gets all the cash for that competition. The competitions would end 70 days later, and every week I would give a status update on all the competitions and how everyone was doing. So everyone could see who was winning and what they would need to do to win. I win! So this brings me to the second reason I believe I was finally successful at getting abs. Find a community or surround yourself with people with similar health goals. Oftentimes we saw each other in person. We would talk about the healthy competitions and encourage each other or tease each other. We created a community that helped motivate each of us to do a little better. After the healthy competitions ended, I had some amazing progress at this point. I was around 19% body fat and I could start to see my abs. I wanted to continue my progress and use the momentum that I had. So my sister and I decided that we would continue to lose weight together. We texted each other regularly and we would vent to each other when things were hard. We would encourage each other to keep going and congratulate each other on the great progress we have made. This brings me to the third reason I believe I was finally successful at achieving abs. Have at least one person to be directly accountable to. Someone you have to notify when you fall off your diet, and someone to tell your progress to and receive encouragement. It helps if this person is striving for similar health goals. At this point, I was around 16% body fat and I could really see my abs. After boxing and running in 2024, weightlifting and working out 3 times a week since November of 2024, running and walking a lot, tracking my food, and eating less than my maintenance calories, I finally achieved some abs. Well, like you might imagine, my health also increased in many ways. I lost 36 pounds. My testosterone went from 381 in 2023 to 641 in 2025 for an increase of 68%. My time from running a mile went from 10 minutes to 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Using a bicep curl as an indicator of strength, I went from curling 26 pounds for 11 reps to failure for a total set volume of 286, to now I can curl 39 pounds for 15 reps to failure for a total set volume of 585, for an estimated strength increase of about 104%. In summary, I believe that if you use these 3 reasons that I have explained in this video, you may also be able to achieve better health and get some abs. As promised at the start of the video, these are the only 2 ab exercises I do to get strong abs. First, weighted sit-ups. These are amazing because just like every other muscle in the body, if you're trying to grow your ab muscles, you need to add more weight or reps to the exercise as time goes on. There needs to be some kind of progressive overload. So you can start with no weight and add more and more weight until you're using heavy weight. The second ab exercise I do is called the dragon flag. And same as the first one, you can start out easier by keeping your legs bent and then make it harder by straightening out your legs more and more to achieve that progressive overload. I hope everybody crushes their goals. Please consider subscribing because this is only phase 1 of my physique goals.